Hey everyone, my name is Erin. I am a certified yoga instructor, and I'm going to lead you guys through a yoga sequence in this video. Feel free to join along. I'm calling this You're Not Gonna Get Off Your Mat. It's pretty much just restorative yoga, so we're going to keep it nice and slow. Very little movement. If you're looking for more of a workout, this is not the yoga video for you, but we are about to pretty much chill and try to open up some spaces in our body, right? So, 2 blocks you're gonna need and a yoga strap. We're gonna start by setting up our blocks. So, I'm gonna set them up for fish pose. So, you need one a little higher, one a little lower. The block has 2 settings, 3 settings, excuse me, setting 1, setting 2, and setting 3. So I like setting up the block that I'll rest my head on setting 3, and the block that I'll pretty much support my upper back on setting 2, just to allow my shoulders to open up. I'm going to move these to the far side of my mat, setting them up in a T position, but there's a little bit of space between the 2 blocks. I'm going to walk my hips back to the block, not right up to them, maybe about 4 fingers distance away from that block. Slowly lower myself down. I'm going to position that first block properly where it's mostly in the upper torso. And then allowing this next block to support my head right at the base of the head. And then you can allow the arms to lie open on either side of you. I'm going to lay my feet out to either side, and we're going to stay here for a smooth 5 to 10 breaths. So settle in, slow that breath down. All right, so we're going to slowly come out of this. I like to stretch my arms overhead. On an inhale. Exhale that out, and I'm just going to slowly bring myself up. A nice smooth transition from here. We're going to remain on the back. We're going to bring these blocks right outside the knees. Going to slowly lower all the way down. Keep the soles of the feet on the ground so that the knees stay bent. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to open wide, and we'll use our blocks here for support. So again, whatever space you're at, all of our hips are open at different degrees. So whether you need the blocks high or maybe a little lower, find the perfect space so that you're feeling the stretch, but there's certainly no strain, and you're able to just release and relax into the support of the blocks and the support of the mat and the floor underneath you. Now here, I like to keep both hands on the lower belly, something very grounding about that to me, but you can keep one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, or just allow both arms to lie open alongside you. And again, we're going to settle in here for 5 to 10 breaths. Right, from here, we're just going to plant the soles of the feet onto the ground. We'll take a nice deep inhale, do a little morning stretch here. And on the exhale, we're going to roll onto one side, right or left side, you choose. And we're going to roll over, use one arm to support the head, and the block is going to support that top leg. Whichever leg it be, I'm just going to lower my block down to a nice setting. It's almost like this block is acting like a nice wedge pillow to support. And if it feels good, you can even roll a little bit further onto the front side of this bottom hip so that you're just kind of opening this top hip nice and long and just releasing here. One thing about doing restorative that I forget is sometimes you get into a nice restorative flow. It gets cold, so you might need a light blanket, a light sweater nearby. And there's no effort here. I know it feels kind of contrary, but we are literally allowing the support of our props and the support of the mat to bring us rest and restore our bodies. All right, we're going to switch this on to the other side, rolling on to that block again. Rolling onto the back soles of the feet down. I'm actually going to bring my head to this side of the mat so I'm not showing booty to the camera. I'm going to do that nice morning stretch in the middle really fast. That just feels right for me. Soles of the feet back. Roll onto the opposite side. Have that block ready to meet the knee. It's almost like if you're a side sleeper, this is very natural for you. It's just side sleeping with some support under that knee. Again, sometimes you can really rotate, rolling onto the front edge of this hip here. That just allows a little bit of stretch here on this inner thigh. And release here. I do not get to do restorative as often as I would like. It's a practice I love deeply but neglect, honestly. But sometimes I find when I get into a position, sometimes if I stay there long enough, I just want to cry. Sometimes it just feels so good and just so nourishing for my body that it's like, oh, just tears of joy and relief. All right, and from here, we're going to roll back on to our back, knees bent, soles of the feet onto the ground. We'll take a nice deep inhale. I want to hug those knees in. Now just getting as close as you can to bringing knees into the chest. Now, understandably, this might not be accessible for all. You're welcome to use the strap. We want to take effort out of the poses as much as we can, right? So we can use the strap, bring it across the shins. And if you need that extra space, to just pull a little bit of pressure on to the strap to bring those knees in. Now, as you're doing this, take a little bit of intention just to tilt the tailbone down towards the mat. So we want to get as much of the spine in connection with the mat all as possible, all the way down to the tailbone. So sometimes it may feel natural to allow the hips to just tilt up towards the sky, but allow the spine to elongate out towards the mat and see how different that feels. And we're going to stay here for a moment using the strap if you need that to find that nice tight hold on the knees and on the legs. Hmm. Taking nice full cycles of breath. So deep inhale through the nose, belly fills up, and slow exhale out of the nose, emptying the stomach out. Hmm. Just noticing the longer you stay in this position, what's opening, what's melting away. Hmm. Feeling a certain amount of gratitude for the space that is freeing up within my body that I wasn't aware that I had. We'll slowly release the grasp around those knees, whether with the strap or the arms. We're just going to send the legs high, flex the feet for a moment, and slowly lower the feet back down onto the ground. We're going to take our time nice and slow to sit up, however you need to do that. We're going to come to a seated position, legs extended long in front of the body. Now, there's a couple ways for you to do this next posture. If you have a bolster, God bless you. I'm so happy for you. I have no idea what happened to my bolster. I moved and I cannot find it, but also a big pillow will work all the same. But if you have your blocks, you can do that. So we are going to fold over the legs, and we're finding support for the torso as we fold. So whatever position you're at, if you have a bolster, you can set your blocks up at the proper height and then lay your bolster top, and it comes the nice pillow top for your torso to rest on. Now, as we're folding, our focus is not on getting a nice deep stretch, but finding the most releasing or relaxing posture that we can. Now, for me, that's here. My blocks are set pretty high. If I go any deeper than that, there's a bit of a strain. But right here, I'm right at the edge between strain and release. So I'm going to release here. Turn your head to one side, rest it on the block. And we're just going to breathe here. 5 to 10 breaths. And what we're trying to avoid is any sharp pinching in the hamstrings and the low back. If you're experiencing any of that, maybe you're just stretching a little bit too deep. Can you set your blocks? Can you set your support up higher? Bring the ground up. Build your support up to a level that's right there at the edge where you're feeling the stretch, but you're able to release and relax into it. The stretch is very common in more active yoga classes, and it can cause a lot of injury in the hamstring and in the glute muscles. You could just feel this sharp pain that really comes right at that joint where the hamstrings and the glute muscles meet. So we're not trying to get there. No acute pain, right? Mm. All right. So, whew, sitting up nice and tall, we can remove those blocks off to the side. We're going to move into our last set of stretches, which are typically thought to be restorative, but we're going to make them restorative. So, we're going to do a figure four position. This is the same stretch that you get in pigeon pose. Um, I don't particularly like pigeon pose anymore. Very early in my yoga practice, I loved pigeon pose, but I don't find it to be without injury. That's what I'll say. So here's how we're going to get into this. So we are going to bring um, right ankle to left knee. Now, this may be a great stretch for you, and you can stay right here. If you're feeling the stretch, what we're trying to do is get a nice gentle stretch on the outer hip here. Now, if you like to elevate it, instead of what we may traditionally do of hugging the knee in and finding a grasp, what we'll do is we will use our blocks to find that elevation. So maybe right here is good for you. This actually feels really nice for me. I may want to just bring, yeah, no, that's a little bit too much. So play with it and see how it feels for you. Actually, I'm not mad at that. That actually feels quite good. So playing with the height of your blocks, whether using both of your blocks or none of your blocks. And we can just breathe here. Taking a nice deep inhale And exhale, you can release the base or supporting leg off the blocks if you have it up there. Otherwise, both soles of the feet go down. We're going to switch this time left ankle on right knee. And now finding your proper edge, whether it's on the block, off the blocks, finding that sweet spot of just enough stretch. And it's just the sweetest amount of stretch. As you get familiar with your body, you'll feel it. There's no real pain or acute tension there. If you've ever done a yoga class and felt the need to push yourself into a stretch, this is not that. This is finding the ease of the stretch so that you feel it just enough to say, ah, and then you can relax into it. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, releasing that supporting leg off the block if you have it up there. Otherwise, both soles of the feet plant on to the mat. We'll take a nice deep inhale. Morning stretch. And exhale, we are taking final releasing posture onto the mat. I want to take this one with my knees splayed out, supported by the block, but you do whatever feels good for you as you finish off your practice today. Whether that's supporting the torso with the bolster, supporting the knees with the bolster, covering up with the blanket. So slowly making your way through a nice morning stretch on the inhale, arms overhead, toes reach far away from fingertips. And up to a seating position. Take your time, however you want to get there is fine. But slow yourself down. Coming up into a seated position, I invite you to keep the eyes closed if that feels good. Nice deep inhale overhead. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Hands over heart. Slowly bowing. Forehead, sending gratitude to your body Sending gratitude for the space you opened up and the space that you didn't. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale with some noise. Sigh it out and release it. And that is it for a quick little restorative practice. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My goal is to not edit this. There was a little hiccup at the end. Camera stopped recording. But other than that, I want to do my best to upload this in rawest form as possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.